Major secrets of the explorers have been revealed in episode 83. The episode begins with Gibeon explaining that the Rising Volt Tacklers have captured Rayquaza and are now heading to Laqua. The scene then shifts to the airship, where Freed figures out that if Gibeon used Requirium on himself, he must still be alive. Meanwhile, Ametheo enters Spinel's lab and discovers that Spinel used Requirium on his Umbreon. He explains that Requirium draws out a Pokemon's potential power, but makes them violent. The research notes also state that the substance is incomplete, and that they are working on a Requirium sphere. Later, Ametheo meets with Hamber to learn more about the history between Lucius and Gibeon. They go to Ametheo's house, where Ametheo shares that he lost his mother in a car accident when he was a child. Hamber then reveals the backstory of the explorers, explaining that Lucius opposed the use of Requirium and betrayed Gibeon. Even Zygarde lost some of its cells due to Requirium's energy. Hamber then shows Ametheo one of Zygarde's cells, which he has kept. Hamber further explains that Gibeon fell to his death but was saved by Requirium. When used on humans, Requirium preserves their bodies and keeps them young for a long time. Gibeon carried on the legacy of the explorers and endured loneliness for 100 years. Ametheo then reveals that Hamber is an educator of the explorers, and except for Spinel, he has taught every member. He also explains that Spinel is manipulating his grandfather to steal Requirium from Laqua. To save his grandfather, Ametheo and his two companions head to Laqua's location. In the episode's conclusion, Liko and her friends arrive in a town near Laqua. Liko and her friends arrived at a town near Laqua, where Pokemon and humans live together peacefully. A resident starts fighting, saying that whenever the Black Rayquaza comes, disaster happens. His dad reveals that it is what my grandmother told him. She is over 100 years old and has seen the Black Rayquaza. Freed decided to visit her and ask about the Black Rayquaza. She says that when she was 3 years old, a huge explosion occurred, and she saw the Black Rayquaza flying away from the mountain. She also revealed that her mother once took care of a young scholar with long hair who was involved in the mountain explosion. The place at the top of the mountain has been called where heaven and earth meet for a long time. Liko, Roy, and Dot saves that boy from Vibrava in a cave. He apologized for his behavior and became friends with them. Dot then received a call from Freed to return to the airship. It was revealed that Chelsea had been spying on Freed and later reported back to the explorers' headquarters. Freed shared that Laqua is located at the top of that mountain, so they needed to climb it. Liko, Roy, Dot, and Freed left the airship to climb the mountain. All of Lucius's Pokemon helped them. Lapras helped them cross the river, while Cleavor cleared the boulders. Along the way, Liko noticed the explorers' headquarters. The episode concluded with Liko and the others reaching the top of the mountain. The episode begins with Sidian revealing that all the explorers were aware of this location all along. They needed Terrapegas's awakened power to remove the barrier. Spinel then thanks them for their hard work in collecting 6 heroes and removing the barrier. Now the battle begins. Spinel calls out Beheeyem and Umbreon. Freed tells his Pokemon to use Dragon Claw and Thunder Punch, but they are stopped by Umbreon's Reflect. Beheeyem uses 10 million volts on Charizard, but Pikachu absorbs the move. Freed reveals that Pikachu's ability is Lightning Rod. It absorbs electric moves to power up. Freed then commands Pikachu to use Volt Tackle, but Beheeyem uses Skill Swap on Pikachu that exchanges the abilities of each other. Freed is surprised by this move. Spinel commands both his Pokemon to only attack Charizard. At the same time, Liko, Dot, and Roy are battling with other members of the explorers. Quaxwell is having a hard time landing a hit on Medicham, while Crocalor is trying his best to fight Screamtail. Medicham slips on the water, and Quaxwell lands a successful hit. Elsewhere, Pikachu jumps on Umbreon. Freed then terastallizes his Charizard and commands Pikachu to use Thunder Punch on Umbreon, while Charizard uses Terra Blast. To save Umbreon, Beheeyem jumps in and takes the Terra Blast. Surprisingly, Pikachu doesn't get hurt. Freed explains that because of Skill Swap, Pikachu now has Beheeyem's telepathy ability, which lets it avoid attacks from its allies. Pikachu then uses Volt Tackle and beats Umbreon. Meanwhile, Sidian and Coral terastallize their Pokemon, but Floragato manages to defeat Garganacl with a surprise attack. Crocalor uses Charming Voice with his full power and defeats Screamtail. The episode concludes with a big explosion erupting from the location of Laqua. The episode begins with Zygarde getting into his former self. Gibeon commands Zygarde to dig up the Laqueum, and it erupts from the ground. Liko and the others reach the location of Laqueum. Seeing the chaos, Terrapagos shouts, and all of Lucius's Pokemon come out of their Pokeballs. Zygarde then breaks the barrier of Laqueum and releases Lucius. Gibeon realizes Zygarde did this on purpose and betrayed him. Lucius welcomes the Rising Volt Tacklers to Laqua, saying they have been waiting for them. He calls Liko by her name and reveals that that Zygarde has told him about the situation outside. When Lucius was trapped in Laqua, he was asleep the whole time, but one day, he heard Zygarde's voice. His cells were left in Laqua for 100 years. As the Laquium increased, Zygarde realized that Laquium is not originally from this planet, and that eventually, it would bring disaster. So, Zygarde sent a message to Rayquaza to find a worthy trainer to inherit Terrapagos and the 6 heroes. Now, he states that sealing Laquium is not enough. They have to make it disappear. This angers Gibeon. Spinel dismisses Lucius, telling him that he is just a ghost and that his words are not worth listening to. Gibeon orders the operation to start. There are 3 machines activating Laquium underground. He believes the core of Laquium exists deep underground. Charizard and Pikachu come into contact with Laquium's pink mist while weakened from battle. They attack each other and faint. Liko asks the 6 heroes to gather their power into Terrapagos. This only angers Gibeon further, and he pleads with Zygarde to fight for him, saying that even though they think differently, he still believes Zygarde is his partner. At that moment, Amethio joins forces with the Rising Volt Tacklers to save his grandfather. The episode concludes with all of them terrestrializing their Pokémon. This was truly a thrilling episode of Pokémon Horizons. I highly recommend you watch it. Floragato finally evolves into Meowscarada. After evolving, Meowscarada and Ceruledge battle together against Zygarde. Meowscarada also uses its signature move, Flower Trick, for the first time. After the attack, Zygarde stops obeying Gibeon's orders and marks his defeat. He scatters all of his cells across the land of Laqua. This makes Gibeon very angry, as he was defeated by Lucius's bloodline. With the help of Lucius's Pokémon, Terrapagos transforms into its stellar form. Freed goes missing in episode 89. Terrapagos purified all the Laquium in Laqua, which led to the passing of Gibeon and Lucius. Spinel used Laquium's pink mist on the 6 heroes, which made them berserk. Liko and the others attempt to escape from Laqua. Liko, Roy, and Dot manage to reach the airship, but Freed clings to it with one hand while flying on Charizard. He hands Pikachu over to the crew before disappearing into Laqua. A year later, Liko looks back on that moment as her last sight at the end of their adventure. Spinel has since become the leader of the Explorers and Exceed. He claims that the nature lost due to the Rising Volt Tacklers is slowly recovering thanks to the efforts of the Exceed Company. Finally, Roy is seen with his Crocodile, Shiny Lucario, and Kilowattrel as he sets off to reunite with Liko. The story will continue in Pokémon Horizons.